Could you just start us off with how the team is feeling ahead of Saturday's match against Colorado?
We have had 2 good weeks of practice. The group was disappointed with the draw that we got in LA. We felt that we did more and we deserve more. But the good thing is that the guys continue to work with the understanding that now we need to be better in the second part of the season, that we need to get the points, game after game, to make sure that we can continue to compete. We have lost too many points in the first part of the season. So it's extremely important for us to bring the right energy, especially in our home games, to get as many points as we can. And the feeling that we have internally, because of the way the guys have trained and the environment at the moment, has been very positive. So we hope that with the support of our fans that we can get 3 points this weekend.
All right, we'll start questions off with Ryan Clark from the Oregonian.
Hey, Gio. Do you feel like these 2 games coming up, the one against Colorado and then Houston a few days later, given where you guys are in the standings, given the points that you need to make up, do you feel like these 2 are really make or break games for the direction of the season?
No, I feel that every single game that we're going to play is not only these 2, but every game that we're going to play going forward, they are extremely important. So nothing happens if we win these 2 games coming up, and then all of a sudden we lose the few others that are coming right after. So we have to make sure that we are as strong as we can be, game after game. We were ready to play LA, and we just need to make sure that we're ready to play every match that we have in front of us all the way this season, hopefully to be able to make the playoff.
Ryan, you can go ahead if you have any follow-ups.
Sure. I was going to ask, health-wise, how's the team doing? Are there any lingering injuries to note before Saturday's game?
So the expectation is that everybody should be able to arrive okay to the game. We still monitoring, evaluating a couple of players, but the understanding at the moment, looking upon what the performance staff has seen in the way we have worked this week, most likely we should be able to have a full roster besides Mabiala. That is the one that has accumulation of yellow cards. So besides that, I think the group is going to be very similar in regards to the ones that were in LA, the 20 that travel. So as of now, that's what it's looking like.
Okay, we'll go to Sam Spiller of Stumptown Footy.
Hi, Gio. Like Ryan mentioned, 2 big home games coming up. Judging by, like you said, the way that this early part of the season has gone, do you or the team feel like there's any more pressure than usual? Obviously, every home game at Province Park, there's always pressure to perform well. Do you feel like there's any added pressure because of the way that the early season has gone to get a good result at home to kind of show the fans?
No, I don't think that we have more pressure than usual because we always have pressure. We always put pressure on ourselves in a high way to be able to keep ourselves in high standards. What I will say is not as much as the pressure. It is that we haven't capitalized on some of the games in which we should have gotten more points, and we put ourselves in a little bit of a more difficult situation at the moment. But talking about pressure, the pressure is always there from our part more than anybody else, because we always want the best. We always want to be on the top. We always want to make sure that we are always very competitive. And that's the pressure that we put in ourselves. And it's the same way that we're doing right now. We need to be better. We need to be higher in the standards. We need to be a better team, the type of team that we have seen in LA, the type of team that we saw occasionally in some of the matches in the first part of the season. But we know that with the group that we can get more, and that's the pressure that we put on ourselves. But no different than every single match that we play in the past all the years that I have been here.
Thanks. And just another question around the back line. You've played a variety of different combinations of center backs specifically throughout the season. And with Mabiala suspended for the next game, looks like that is going to continue. Do you anticipate continuing to kind of try different combinations and rotation as far as center backs? Or can we expect at some point in the coming months for you to settle on a consistent, steady kind of starting pair of center backs in the back there?
Yeah, I feel that this season, when we set up in the way we set up the schedule, it was a schedule in which we could have had consistency in playing two center backs, the ones that provide the best game after game and stay steady. The reality is that because of injuries, suspension, in other situations or international call-ups, we have had to make rotations in that position. And the reality is that the good thing is that we have good center backs. Our four center backs are capable of playing at a good level, at a great level, I will say, to compete with each other. They have a great relationship, the four of them. So it's very difficult, on a constant basis to make the selection. But the fact that this hasn't been a lot of continuity has to do mostly with the fact that there has been always situations, either, as I said, injuries and other things that have happened that have prevented that.
Great, we're going to go back to Ryan Clark.
Hey, Gio, just a couple additional questions on a couple of guys. Is Bill back with the team and able to play on Saturday, or is he still transitioning back from New Zealand?
Yes, 100% available to play.
Okay, and then Eric, I noticed last week wasn't able to get in the game. Is he working his way back from an injury, or what is his status at this point?
He is working his way. He's not injured anymore. He's just getting more comfortable and coming out, from an injury. He needs minutes. He needs to continue to progress, and he's trained very well this week in order to put himself in a better situation.